This video is going to talk about a tool that I use oftentimes with outdoor photos just to give them a little extra boost, a little extra help. Um, and the tool is called saturation. You can find it under the colors menu under hue and saturation. And I'm also going to mention some of these other tools. There's three other options we have here I will mention very briefly, but the main tool here is saturation. And what saturation is a how vibrant or how bright the colors are in a photograph. Sometimes we will actually desaturate a photo. If you take it to the opposite end, you can make a photograph black and white. So to desaturate means to take the colors out, so that if we increase the saturation, what we're going to do is we're back at 0 basically right here. We're going to boost the colors. And the easiest thing to spot in this one is this leaf down here that's kind of orange color. Maybe a little bit of the trees. As you increase this value, your image is going to get brighter. Not brighter, but your colors are going to be more vibrant. If you go too far, a lot of times you'll get a very fake looking photograph. Let me go all the way. And this one doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look completely real either. So if you want to have more of a unnatural look, you can go all the way to 100. But typically I would stop in the 30 to 50 range. Even there, if I uncheck the preview, you can see that, I'm going to try to see if I can get both of these in view at the same time. That's before and this is after. So it just provides a little extra boost in color. While we're here, let me mention this other option called hue. Hue is another term for color in your photo, and when you change the hue, you're changing the color. So if I just turn that dial, it's like you're shifting the colors of the rainbow. So what was blue becomes red, what red becomes green, and so forth. So it just tints all the colors. Not very practical in this application, but there's many times where you need to change the color of an object. Maybe someone's shirt is clashing with other people's clothes in the picture or something like that. I've actually changed the color of a shirt so it just fits the photograph better. So you just change the hue here. What you can also do, let me hit reset here, is change individual colors. So we have this little color wheel up here. If I pick blue and change the hue, it's only going to change the blue. Now it doesn't get all the blue. There's a threshold, basically it did not cross over. If I increase this overlap, and you can see right about there, I get all the blue. Now I can change it, and it's changing all the blue sky. And there's a lightness here as well. Typically, I won't use this, but you can just make a color a little, not just brighter, but also a little darker. So again, you can either apply this to individual color, or if you hit master, it will apply to the entire photograph. And I just have a couple more examples here. Here's an outdoor scene of the mountains. Basically, if I go to colors, hue, and saturation, and I'm just going to boost the saturation to about 50, you can see it does make the trees and the leaves just a little more vibrant. Sometimes you'll run into trouble with this with the sky. Sometimes a blue sky does not look very good once you boost the saturation. You're more apt to get a fake looking sky before you get the leaves, so just watch out for things that do not look natural. So again, anytime you have an outdoor photo, I think I have one more here. This is actually the creek from the other picture, that looking through the water at the leaves through the water. And if I go to hue and saturation, again, you're not dramatically changing things, but you're just making it a little bit more interesting of a photo. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom out so you can see more of the photo at one time. I think that'll be more helpful here. So this is after and this is before. So before and after, it just gives a little more of a punch to some of those colors. Now there are times we have to be careful about saturation, and that's on people. I found this random photograph of some real estate guy on the internet, and we go to color and hue and saturation. On people, you tend to give them a sunburnt look, so you want to be careful because there are red pigments in our skin. So when we boost that, it just makes them look sunburned. But you could use it a little bit, with nothing done. He's a little pale there, so you can, darken, give him a little more color in the skin, just by maybe moving it, 20 or 30. Just make sure it looks natural. If you go too far, it's going to look unnatural and fake. And the objective here is to fix a photograph and correct it, not to make it look unnatural. So that's the saturation tool. We'll use that for both boosting colors and, as I mentioned on this image, let me go back to my color here. We can desaturate by pulling it this way, and that's a quick way of making a photograph black and white. So, and sometimes there will be a need for that as well. So that's the hue and saturation tool. It is found under the color menu up here. By the way, there's also a desaturate, just a shortcut right here. They have some options here, but you can just hit OK, and that's just a shortcut. If all you're doing is desaturating, you can go straight to that tool, and it'll take the color out as well. But otherwise, you can go to hue and saturation. One thing to notice, that this hue here, I meant to mention this earlier, changes the colors. It does not add colors. So if you open up a black and white photograph and change the hue, it's not going to change the photograph because there are no colors in the photo to change. So if you want to add color, we'll show you another way later how you can add colors to a black and white photo, but changing the hue will not add colors to a black and white photograph, only if it's already there. So that's the hue and saturation tool found under the colors. It's used to just boost and enhance and make photographs just a little bit more interesting to look at.